Kansas City, the Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl. We are on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Dan Orlovsky is here, ESPN NFL analyst.
Good morning.
As he is each and every Monday. Dan, let's start with this. Why are the Bills not in the Super Bowl?
The Bills are not in the Super Bowl because the 2 or 3 plays that needed to be made at the most critical times, they didn't. And Kansas City did. I think that if you watch that game and you go to the start of the fourth quarter, there's the drive that leads to the 4th and 1 stop. There's 2 or 3 plays by Kansas City where they make a shoestring tackle and they don't step out of it if you're Buffalo. They obviously get stopped on the 4th down call. That's a horrific officiating situation. That's for another time, obviously. Here's the reality, and I love him more than anybody on the planet, I think, in this industry. He got the ball back with 3 minutes, down 3 with 3.5 minutes to go. He just didn't get it done. Just on first down, throw the check down instead of throwing that ball over the middle of the field. Like Tony Romo was calling a throwaway, throw a check down. I've watched you do it all year. Second down, ball gets batted down. Third down, they throw the screen to Coop. Don't slip a little bit. You step out of a tackle, you score. And then 4th down, I want to tip my hat to Steve Spagnuolo. How do you not expect that? Everybody on the plane.
How about not passing 4 times? You didn't need to. You have 2:25 to go.
Yes, I think
3 timeouts.
I think in that moment, you're putting the ball in the best player on your team's hands. You know, and you're saying we're going to win it because of you, or we're going to lose it because you didn't get it done. And you're not trying to get a field goal either. You're trying to go win the football game. So I understand but what is a good run's going to get you to 2nd and 5. If he throws the check down on 1st down, Kincaid make a catch. You know, like 2 years in a row, 2 brutal drops for Josh Allen. So it's a lot of listen, for me, I think it's the most haunted organization and maybe player in the history of the NFL. This place has gone to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost, and now they've lost 4 straight playoff games to the same guy. How do you bounce back from that? In the last 3 playoff losses, Patrick Mahomes versus Josh, Patrick's got 9 touchdowns. He's taken 4 sacks and 1 turnover. Josh has got 9 touchdowns. He's got 4 sacks and no turnovers. He's lost all 3 of them. How do you keep getting up? How do you keep getting up, man?
Yeah, I mean, before last night, every team that's won the turnover battle has won the playoff game.
And they won it again last night, right?
Yeah, the Bills won. But I'm saying every team in the postseason, this postseason, that's won the turnover battle has won the game, except for the Buffalo Bills. And so, Dan, I guess the question now becomes, Josh Allen's 28 years old. You know, he's got a lot of runway. How did the Buffalo Bills change the result? I mean, they cleaned up the locker room this offseason. They moved on from Stephon Diggs, and team chemistry actually got a lot better. But you still have the same result in the second season. So how does it change for the Buffalo Bills?
I get when you say he got a lot of runway. Do they? I mean, there's a mental part to this one of like, how many times can you go through this until it breaks you? Like, you go through this until, because here's the thing too, CC, they did change this year.
Yes.
There was an organizational change this year of how they were going to play football, and Josh went through the whole process of how he was going to play football, and it was unbelievable, and it led to him again being in the MVP, and they were the cleanest offense in the game, and they led the NFL in takeaways, and it still wasn't good enough. It still wasn't good enough, and I don't know how they get past this, and normally I would say like, oh my gosh, their window's going to be fine, but there is a mental toll to this that is so hard that you just got to, at some point, you know, come April and May and then September, like, pull yourself back up and let's go do it again. That's hard, man. It's really, really hard.
It is, and we've talked a lot about the Ravens getting over the hump, the Bills getting over the hump. At what point do we just look at 15 and say, you can't beat this guy? You can't, he's so good. You're not going to be able to beat him.
Mount Everest.
Yeah.
That hump is it's like Pandora, the mountain's upside down. Here's my thing with it though, because we always give credit to Patrick, and rightfully so. This is organizational, like, across the board, when there was a play to be made by a certain player in a certain role, they made it last night. I go to, Justin Reed on that 2-point conversion when he dives from the outside in and stops Josh in the quarterback sneak. That was his play to be made in that moment. Justin Watson on the 2-point play, make the play. Xavier Worthy, couple times making the play. Juju Smith-Schuster, Karlaftis, Wharton. I mean, Samaje Perine.
Yeah.
The game on the line, season on the line. Let's throw the ball to Samaje, and he makes the play. It's unbelievable to watch how this organization, at the moment that one person needs to go make that one play, they make it. And that's the difference. I mean, I don't want to simplify too much, but the difference is when that one person on that team needs to go make the play, they do. And Buffalo didn't. Spags dials up that what. The only time they blitzed the corner last night was on that 4th and 5. That was the only time they did it all night. So it's certainly Patrick, absolutely, but it is across the board, the organizational, how they operate.
Yeah, before we get into the other game with the Eagles and the Commanders, I just want to answer. You said, how does Josh Allen pick himself up in March, April, May, and run it back knowing that this guy's at the other end? And my answer to that is it has to feel different. And the only way it could feel different is if you're looking at the person giving you the instruction and it's not the same person that you've had the last 6 years.
I think you're absolutely out of your mind.
Okay, but you didn't hear that. That's the problem. I'm going to give you the solution. I think it needs to feel somewhat similar. I'd put Joe Brady as the head coach right now. I'm telling you. Sean McDermott had a bad game yesterday. Don't chase points. To keep the points on the board. The extra point to the 2-point conversion was bad. Then at 22-21, they have the 2-point conversion. They're totally out of their mind on that lefty quarterback sneak or whatever the heck they do there. And again, I know you know more football than I'll ever know, obviously. But I disagree. I think with 2:25 to go, you need to run the football. You have 2 jobs, either tie or win the game and kill the clock. And they didn't do either.
No. Oh, okay. So, one, Sean McDermott coached his freaking tail off this year. He was one of the coaches of the year. That roster's not nearly as talented as Kansas City's.
Agreed.
Also a reason why Josh is very much in the MVP conversation. What's one of the things historically we've said about when you're playing against Patrick Mahomes? Field goals won't beat him. Nor will extra points. Okay, so the whole chasing the points thing, I understand your vantage point, but one of them, the penalty happens. You get the ball at the 1-yard line. It is way more worthy when it comes to like the risk evaluation or the analytics element of that. You go for that. Absolutely. Instead of kicking that extra point, you go for that to try to go get those 2 points, because every point at that place against that dude will matter. So I understand like the revision part of it with the chasing the points. I think both of those situations going for it makes sense to me, and they're justified. You want them to get them, makes sense to me. 2, the quarterback sneak stuff, it's worked all season long. It has. It's worked all season long. They just didn't. And I would say this. I think he got it on 4th down. I think it was clear he got it on 4th down. I think in the review it was clear he got it on 4th down. I think that's more of like a what are we doing as an officiating situation rather than why are we going for it. I thought the challenge with the Worthy catch was a worthy challenge as well, because it was a huge moment. Those 30, 40 yards are huge. So